The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello!
Evening. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Hey, Dave. Hey, Lana. Hope you're well. It's all right, mate. It's all right. I was just watching when we said, "Oh, we're going live now," and I look at it was click, 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 click. I was like, okay. Always a professional.
Trying to get the intro menu up. This is show 24, by the way, and I'm still trying to figure out how to use StreamYard properly. Good evening, all. We are live on YouTube, on Facebook. If you're watching us on Facebook, please join over to YouTube. You'll be more involved in the chat, and it's just a generally good place to be.
Hey, Peter.
Hi, Peter. See, Peter did it. Peter was watching on Facebook last week, and he's now joined us on YouTube.
Hey.
So,
thanks for joining, mate. Yeah, it's not been too bad. I've been a bit of a slob last couple of days. I couldn't be bothered to do much on my days off. Picked up a couple of bits, but the days go so quick at the minute. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So quick. Doesn't seem like 2 minutes until Christmas.
Before you realise it, we're back on a Thursday and we're back live
again. That's exactly it. I'm going, okay, what have we got to do for the show?
Right. It's been an interesting week this week. It's been a nice... It's like work's got back to normal again after the madness of Christmas and New Year. It's been nice and getting back into the swing of things. So if we got in tonight then so far, we've got Lana, we've got the Dave, Peter's in. We've got 9 people watching so far. So if you haven't said hello, please say hello and let us know that you're there. Have you caught up on everything that we said for you to catch up on?
I believe my only 2 things that was to catch up on was Cobra Kai, because you're bursting a vein to talk about it. Hey, Phil. And one of my favourite films of this year, The Last Dragon. Okay. So, yes, I watched those. I was pleasantly surprised. But Cobra Kai, I really enjoyed that.
Yes, I did. I did see it, Pete, and sorry I didn't reply to you. I did see it. It is on my watch list for this week. I haven't got around to watching it, so I'll probably watch it over the weekend. It does look quite good, actually.
I'll tell you what, I ordered The Good Liar this morning on my Blu-rays, so I'll be getting that off the interweb.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what then. While we're on the topic of homework, let's do that. Right. So last week, Chris jumped on, and we were talking about the length of movies being so long. And since he was the only guest, it was up to him to come up with a homework movie. Bell came up with The Greatest Showman because she knows I've got this disdain for musicals. Yes, I watched it this afternoon. I have actually watched a musical. I'm thinking I don't know what was so great about it. I don't know why it's called The Greatest Showman. I don't know why it's not just called The
Showman. What are you talking about?
I don't know why it's not just called The Average Hour and 45 Minutes of Your Life.
You've got zero taste in anything to do with musicals, have you?
Well, I was watching it, and Lana come home from work, and she opened the door. She started talking to me about what a day was like, what my day was like. And So she caught 5-10 minutes of it before she went upstairs and put all the stuff.
Oh, I've got a second. Did she not even watch it?
She didn't watch it. No, she watched 10 minutes of it and she went, "Yeah, this is as shit as I thought it was going to be." So there you go. We're 5 minutes into the show, and there's my first swear word. So it's watchable, right? I can watch it. I don't think they needed a song every 30 seconds. I know it's a musical.
It's a musical.
I know it's a musical, but there's other musicals like Grease that has a song every 5 minutes. You don't need one every 30 seconds, right? I think it was a good. I understood what Chris meant now when he said last week that it's a good 5 to 10 minute opening. It explains the storyline, how he's met his wife, and what's going on, and all that lot. That was good. I enjoyed that bit. What else was that? Oh, where he's finding all the freaks and stuff like that. Yeah, that's good. I didn't understand the love story between Zendaya and Zac Efron, because all of a sudden they've just met, and then the next thing you know, he's holding hands with her on the stage, and then he's pulling away, and then they're together by the end of the film. That whole
make it sound so magical.
Yeah,
it's the way you say it, mate. It's just so magical.
Yeah, that, and then they had the sing song when they're spinning around on the piece, and
sing song.
Yeah, it's a sing song, you know. And then by the end of it, you know, he gets accused of sleeping with the singer and having an affair, which he didn't do. He then goes and says to the wife, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I just want the basic stuff in life," and then they end up getting back together again. That I just don't understand what the film was about. Apart from someone that wants to start a circus for freaks. That's what
that probably narrows it down, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, and Lana said there's a woman with a beard. Cheers, babe. Thank you. Great.
Lana, you should have watched it.
Lana, Steve saying that you're going to watch it.
No.
Did you get that?
Trade her in, mate.
I tend to agree. If I had the copy of it, it'll be underneath my cup now as a coaster. That's as far as I'll go with it.
Find as much merchandise for The Greatest Showman that you can put in that room. The soundtrack was amazing. I thought that the songs were really, really good.
Yeah, but as we were talking just before we came live, the soundtrack would have been great if we didn't have it as number 1 to 20 in the top 20 for about a decade after the film released. Then when it dropped off and no one was bothered about it, they released the soundtrack but with a different song on it. So we then get another 6 to 10 weeks of it then. And then once it dies a death, Pink goes and covers bloody 2 songs and ends up at number 1.
Yeah, they bring out another album done by popular artists.
Yeah, so for the whole year, all we were listening to was This Was Me. And it was like Frozen all over again with Let It Go.
Let It Go.
Yeah. So now I have watched, Dave saying the same for Moulin Rouge. Cheers, Dave. You just saved an hour and 50 minutes of my life. I don't have to watch that now. Thanks.
So this week's homework is Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, Peter's saying, isn't it based on a true story though? I think the character that Hugh Jackman played is a real man. You know, because it comes up with a quote of his at the end, doesn't it? And stuff. But let's put it this way: if it was all singing and all dancing, I wouldn't be buying the ticket to the circus.
No. But I think the thing is that I enjoyed it, and I don't mind if it's on. I don't mind watching it. But as regards to the extra album that they brought out, that were covers by every popular person, they can all do one, because there's no way I'm listening to that. Not a chance.
Evening, Martin. Have we got a new?
Hey, Martin.
Welcome to Movie Chats. Yeah, so the only saving grace to this is that you and Chris can't hold it over me now that I have not watched The Greatest Showman.
No, we can't. You have
I've watched it now.
You have that in your back pocket now.
I have now got that monkey off my shoulder. You can't hold it against me anymore.
Right, I want to talk about this. The Last Dragon. The Last Dragon. Let me just turn this off because I think the batteries are dying. There we go. So I put this on yesterday. I'd been waiting ages for this. I mean, I think it cost me about 18 quid off eBay. Yeah. Hey, Tori. Just in time, actually. Give me your view on it first. What was it?
It's a 15-year-old getting laid. That's what the whole film's all about.
Is that the premise of it?
Yeah. Of course, that's the premise of it.
So this is difficult to put in a category for anybody who hasn't seen it. It's The Last Dragon.
It's a teenager's entry into puberty and martial arts.
So this Berry Gordy, the director, is it?
He was the former owner of Motown.
Exactly. So it was at the time he was still the owner of Motown.
Yeah.
But he'd seen sort of a Bruce Lee film in one of the cinemas and saw that there was so many different variations of people in that cinema that he wanted to try, and he thought there was a story there to tell. Mm-hmm. So this is where this came from. There's a couple of things in it that they say that probably wouldn't be able to do nowadays, which is like the black guy playing, sort of dressing up as a martial arts expert, and then the Chinese people dressing up, pretending to be black. You know, there's a couple of things in there that it's a bit close to the bone nowadays. But the lad, they struggled to find the main actor, which ironically they called Bruce Lee. God, I had in my head. What's he called? Bruce Leroy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bruce Leroy. But they struggled to find that actor, but ended up he actually is really good at martial arts, but he's got zero acting experience.
No.
Right. Now the guy that literally Shogun of Harlem, Shonuff, this gentleman here,
the bad guy in the film.
The bad guy.
Just for you guys that didn't actually watch the homework the other week, the Shogun of Harlem. If you picture your typical Bruce Lee bad guy, that's usually portrayed by an American. That's what he's playing in this film.
This guy's like 6'5". He's ginormous, but he steals every single scene he's in.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, he is such a great actor. And then you've got the guy who plays, I want to say Clive or something. That blooming guy who's trying to get his missus video.
Yeah.
In the dance thing. He was terrible, man. He was so shit. It was unbelievable.
So there was
essentially two bad guys, weren't they?
Yeah, there was potentially two storylines going on along the film. There was him trying to build his relationship with the girl he fancies. And bearing in mind, she's like 23, 24 in this film, and he's supposed to be 15, yeah?
Yeah.
So, and then there's and she's got like a Top of the Pops type of
vanity show. Yes, yeah. In a club, a local club,
type of show.
Yeah.
And then what? It's been a couple of. Is it Rhythm of the Night? They play Rhythm of the Night, don't they? Also, it's practically the music video for Rhythm of the Night.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wants her to play his partner's shit music video and get him on the show. Which
is like a Cyndi Lauper ripoff, isn't it?
Yeah.
But basically, they told the directors, like, we want a song that's good enough to convince you that it's a hit, but really bad. Like, lyrical wise, it wouldn't make any sense. I mean, one of them's called like Test Drive or something, and then the other one, but the little brother of the guy, because he's such a robotic character, the little brother really stands out.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, you're weird, and people are going to think you're weird, and therefore I'm going to be weird, but being, we have Chris, but we can go over my review again. Now, so I did watch the average hour and 45 minutes of The Greatest Showman.
But to narrow this down, it's cheese. It's cheesy 80s movie, but it works.
Yeah.
It works, and that's the thing. I think it has got quite a cult following now, apparently. But like that show enough, I could watch him all day. I thought it was hilarious.
It's that final battle between him and Leroy that gets me, because you get all the power and the zap and all the comic book thing with all the punches and stuff, because he's supposed to light up, isn't he, and have the force or the power or whatever it was called.
That brings me back to my main point on this movie. The one thing that really cheeses me off is his master at the start, his sensei. I'm not sure if he's just a dick. Because quite honestly, I'm not 100% sure if he is. He's not selling me on like a Miyagi sort of character.
Yeah. Go and find some dumb guy, and it ends up being a fortune cookie machine. Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes back to him. He's like, well, it is what it is, sort of thing.
It's the bit where she's talking about him being with girls, and he goes, well, I don't know the moves, and she's going, well,
I need to know the
moves and all this stuff. And then at the end, she's wearing white, like she's supposed to be some sort of virgin. There's like a white disco party going on. He comes out in some sort of white karate gi, and then you get that cheesy moment where the music goes off and he goes, I want you to teach me the moves, and everyone goes, ooh. So yeah, you just got to get.
But the director insisted that they filmed in New York, because usually because of like the price and stuff like that, they'd usually film elsewhere. But this was like dead center in New York. They were filming this.
Yeah.
Man, it's a mental film. There is no category you could put it in, because some people have put that in a musical category.
And to make it worse, Krillin's not been here to listen to the reviews of the film he recommended 2 weeks ago.
Mate, 18 quid I paid for this. 18.
We'll send it back to Bobby and you can get your money back. Right.
Fair enough.
Chris and Bell are back now. Right. So, The Greatest Showman. Right, and I apologize, guys, for those that were here for the first 10 minutes of the show.
He loved it. He loved it.
I don't see what the fuss was about. It was. I understand what you're saying, Chris, about the first 5 to 10 minutes. It is a great setup of the film. You get to understand who he is, you understand who his wife is, and you understand them going up to get married and whatever, and take the chances that they take.
There's a book coming
every 30 seconds, yeah, and that whole love story between Zendaya and Zac Efron, that you could do without that in the film, right? There was no need for that. And then they have that whole singy, spinny, sing-along bit where she's on the trapeze and he's trying to wear her off her feet.
On the trapeze.
Yeah, yeah, I've watched it now, and I don't understand what all the fuss was about. I understand it's got a great soundtrack, but again, it didn't need to be released and re-released and re-released, and then for Pink to re-release it, and we listened to This Is Me for 12 months after the show was released. It was another let it go, in my case. It's done. Yeah, no, you're right, Chris. It is a bloody musical, right? And I hate musicals, right? But it's not something I am going to go back to watch. But there is other musicals out there where you have a song every 5 minutes. You don't need to have a song every 30 seconds,
Let's go to the chase.
Yeah, you're right.
I know Chris Lana only watched it for about 10 minutes, then walked out. At least he sat through the whole thing.
So Lana said to me, what would I give it out of 10 if I was to give it a rating? And I said, I'll give it a 4 out of 10, right? I like Hugh Jackman, and I like the fact he's gone back to his musical background, because that's what he was. He was a theatre actor before he came into film and whatever. And it is, parts of it is quite entertaining. I like the bit where they burnt the circus down, and I thought that was going to be the end of the film, but it wasn't. There's like another 20 minutes after that.
Did you see anything on YouTube about like the Greatest Showman and out before it was made? There was a lot of like short videos that came out beforehand, and it was like when they were doing the rehearsals and stuff like that. Have you watched any of that?
No.
So basically,
I don't have any time for the Greatest Showman. I never had time.
Okay, so let me give you something that might appreciate it a little bit more. So there was a video on YouTube about basically an extra on the Blu-ray as well, that they were doing a rehearsal, and it was for like the board or whoever was coming in, the people that were putting the money up, so they could roll through the songs and everything. And Hugh Jackman at the time had been didn't tell anybody, but he'd got cancer in the nose. So he'd had an operation and had this thing removed out of his nose. Anyway, he like lastminute.com, he told him about it, and they were like, look, mate, you know, these are the people that are putting the funding together. And he's like, they're like, it doesn't matter, just don't do it. But he knew that it was riding on like some of his performances. But the doctors had told him not to do it. Not the rehearsal anyway. And anyway, he went there. He was like, well, what I'll do is I'll go there, I'll sort of mimic it, I'll have my stand-in, sing it, and all the rest of it. Anyway, he ended up singing the song, or at least one of them. I think it was From Now On, and ended up busting the stitches and having to go and get them redone, because it sort of hung on whether or not they were going to be able to sell it to the studio, and that was like the one time that they were going to see him.
That's a great story.
It's a lovely story, and it's quite important.
It still wouldn't let me reach for the disc.
Health and safety on that. He put his health on the line there, mate, so that you could enjoy that movie.
It still would not let me go, right, I get that, right? And Chris is right. It's about personal preference, right? I have not got a musical body in me. You know, if you were to hit my ribs, they will ripple. You know, they won't actually play a tune. It's not a xylophone or nothing like that. I've never been musical. I can't sing. I can't, I can't do anything like that. And I just haven't. I've just not got that musical bit in my brain that says I need to watch a musical, right? However, I have got, saying that, I've got something in my pickups here that you'll probably throw that back at me in a bit.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so the Peter saying there he'd rather watch the musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The musical episode of Two Pints of Lager is something that we could watch.
Yeah, that is funny.
And the other one for me is Little Shop of Horrors. I can watch Little Shop of Horrors all day.
Yeah, it's great.
From a musical point, like The Greatest Showman and stuff like that, that Sunshine on Leaf or whatever it was bloody called that he made us watch, the band.
You enjoyed that just as much, did you?
At least I've watched this one. I turned that off 10 minutes in when he started singing at Edinburgh bloody train station. Right? So at least I give this one a go.
You have, to be fair.
Yeah.
You have. We'll give you that one. Right, what's this? I am in 2 metal bands. I've just pressed it off. Come on.
Yeah.
And the one with Reckonator. Okay, fair enough. Right, shall we... now we've recapped just for one person. Shall we move on to something else?
Okay. So, for those of you that are new or joining us for the first time, it's this segment of the show where we review a year. So we'll have a look at a particular year. We'll have the good, the bad, and who done what. And
there you go.
no, fuck off. Right. You threw me off my stride now. So the year's 2010. Now, the last couple of weeks, we've had some really good years, and it's been really difficult to do. I never found that with 2010. Steve, did you?
At first, no. At first, I looked at it and thought, well, this is going to be fucking simple. But in all honesty, I found a couple more than I expected. But there is one honourable mention that I think we need to mention, if I can find a bloody thing, but I never mind. Did you realise this is the year that Rubber came out?
Yes.
I noticed that about halfway down this list, and I'm like, I've got to put that on there just for the sake of it.
The greatest killer tire movie ever made.
Ever made. That's the slogan,
yes.
isn't it?
Yes, I did. It is on my list, believe it or not, as I mentioned, was Rubber.
I thought you can't not say that.
No. So yeah, if you haven't seen Rubber, when we did movie chats with Mr. Hayden, it was brought up then on the spinny wheel, and it's about a possessed tire that goes on a killing spree, but it's filmed in a way that there's a live audience watching the movie being made and being filmed.
Yeah.
It's quite cheesy. It's quite funny in parts, and some of the death scenes are hilarious. If you haven't seen it, go and watch Rubber. It's I don't think I'd ever watch it again, but I've watched it, and but I'd recommend at least watching it once. You went and bought a copy, didn't you? You bought a copy so you can see it.
Yeah, I bought a copy because I couldn't find it anywhere, and I watched it. And I think I mean, I'm just jealous now that Chris has got a replica Rubber tire in his garden.
Would you like me to send you one?
No, I don't actually. I'm all right. I've got over it.
Wait for you until we move house, and then I can bring one down.
Yeah, it was a toss up between that and like some of his Walking Dead stuff. I just couldn't decide. Yeah, like I say, I started looking at the year and I was like, this is a bit pants. But the more and more I looked into it, I actually found some that I've put together a top 10, put it that way.
So you've done a top 10?
Yeah, I've put together a top 10 because there's a couple of honourable mentions and there's a couple that I would have put in the top 10, but it's like there was a toss up.
I've got a top 5 and 7 mentions. So
7 mentions.
I'll go first, shall I?
Yeah, go on for
it. Iron Man 2 is these are mentions, by the way. So Iron Man 2, The Switch. That's the one where they switch the sperm samples.
Yeah.
Robin Hood, Repo Men. I love that film, Repo Men, but it's not
my
top 5. Clash of the Titans, The Social Network, and Rubber. They're me mentions.
So you've only sort of picked on 2 really for me.
Okay.
Go on, what's your top 5? Go on.
And then my top 5 in no particular order. I've got Shutter Island, The Book of Eli. I think that was really cleverly done.
Yeah.
Inception.
Yep.
Tron Legacy.
Yep.
My God, the soundtrack and the graphics and the...
You're killing me right now, mate. Come on, crack on.
And the universe they've made for Tron Legacy was superb. And the last one was Senna.
Oh, sugar. Yeah. I mean, I've only watched that recently, so that hasn't really grown on me like the rest of them. I mean, straight off the bat, I'm going to obviously say my number 1 is Tron Legacy, but I'll go with the other ones anyway first.
Yeah.
And I'll explain why. So, a couple of honourable mentions. I've got Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Kick-Ass, and Social Network. And The King's Speech. That was another one that was an honourable mention. My top 10, I've got Expendables, because, like, having a cast that size is just unheard of. So it really sort of piqued my interest when that came out. 127 hours, which I think is a great film, and it's not for the squeamish, put it that way, on at one point. I haven't watched Insidious, Lana. That's one of my guilty things that I haven't watched. Number 8, I've got Book of Eli.
Yeah.
Number 7, Hot Tub Time Machine, because I wanted to throw a comedy in there. Now, it was a toss-up between Grown Ups or Hot Tub Time Machine, but I think I enjoy the Hot Tub Time Machine better. Number 6, I've got Blue Valentine.
Yeah.
Which is not something you want to watch as a it's not a love story, put it that way. It's quite the opposite. And then I've got number 5. I have changed it. I've got Shutter Island at number 5. That's such a great film. One of the mentions that was like one of the top films of the year was The Town, but I liked it, but I wouldn't say that was in my top 5.
Was that Ben Affleck? The Town.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Yeah, it's a good film, but it's hey Rich, Black Swan. I never got on with that, Dave. So I've got number 4, and this was a toss up with Despicable Me, right? But I've gone with How to Train Your Dragon because I enjoyed that a lot more. But they were two strong movies at the same year. So number 4, How to Train Your Dragon. Number 3, 4 Lions. Have you ever seen that?
No.
I think the description is something along the lines of 4 British terrorists that try and get trained up. But there was a film called Convenience, which is about working in a convenience store a few years back. It's the same characters that are in that, or the same people that are in that. But it's just it shouldn't be funny. It's like Jojo Rabbit, where you've got all about the Nazis and stuff like that, and it shouldn't be a good movie, but it is. It's one of those 4 Lions. Surprised you've not seen it, to be honest. Number 2, I've gone with Inception.
Yeah.
Although it is quite complex, but cinematic, very cinematic. And number 1, I've gone with Tron Legacy, because although it got slated, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
I love it, and I can't understand why it got slated. I think it was one of the first films that give us a sequel 20 years after the original. And I think
it's got its downsides, don't get me wrong, but the soundtrack is immense. The visuals are stunning.
Yeah, I think that went against it because everyone's got such a love for Tron.
Yeah.
That when they brought it up to modern day standard, it was like, wow. To me, it was just absolutely superb. The graphics, the color scheme, and the soundtrack to it, the way that they brought the light cycles to life and stuff like that. It was absolutely amazing. Jeff Bridges is brilliant in it as well as both as Clue and as Flynn.
Sorry about that. I moved something. Yeah, this is it. It's such. I buzzed off that movie. I thought that was amazing. Yeah, I really did.
Brilliant. Just to go back through some of the comments there, Dave, if you've not seen Senna, go and watch Senna.
It's really good.
It's like a documentary through that last season of the races and stuff like that. And then when you see his accident and stuff like that, it is brilliant.
Dave, I haven't seen Machete yet. To be honest, it's definitely one for that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is, Lana. I don't mind horror movies, but Lou's not a big fan of them. So it's one of those situations where unless everyone's gone to bed and I've got a chance to watch something on my own, it's difficult to sort of get into that. And then the other thing as well is obviously the Insidious has got a lot more different things now on it. So I'm going to have to get them all as a set really. And
well, I didn't realise there were so many of the Insidious. We were going to watch it because the last key is going to be the new. Sorry, the last key was the last one. Is it the Damon Realm? Is the new one that's coming up? Peter's put here about Percy Jackson. To me, Percy Jackson fell into the same issues that Harry Potter did, where the cast was just getting too old for them being in school. You know, and that's probably why he never made any more, because he is technically in demigod school, isn't he, Percy Jackson?
Well, I mean, they are looking at bringing another Harry Potter one, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how that goes on.
When he's older, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe must need money, and J.R. Rowling must need to write another book. But for me, Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief and the Sea of Monsters, if I remember correctly, were the two films that they did. And I quite enjoyed them. And it's a shame. Is there 6 books in the series, if I remember?
I don't know, mate. I'm not a big reader when it comes to that sort of stuff.
I think there's 6 in the series, but I think they fell foul in the same things that Harry Potter did.
I think I actually do own Insidious. I just haven't watched it. I'll have to have a look for it later, because these aren't in any order at the minute.
Highest grossing actors of 2010, mate.
Oh, that's got to be DiCaprio.
Nope.
What, with Shutter Island and Inception?
Yep.
Wow. Who did they drag out? Was it anything to do with the Expendables? Like one of those characters?
Nope. 5 books is the Peter. Sorry, mate. I thought there was 6. No, Harrison Ford's not in the top 4. Sorry, Joanne. Robbie Downey Jr. is number 1, Dave.
Wow, for Iron Man 2?
He had Iron Man in 2008, Iron Man 2 in 2010, Sherlock Holmes in 2009, Tropic Thunder in 2008.
Do you know what? He's actually come out and apologised for doing that character.
He's had to apologise now for doing that character, yes, for a film that he did 13 years ago. Due date in 2010 and The Soloist in 2009. So he had 6 films carry into 2010, which made him the highest grossing actor for that year.
Wow. Yeah, the Dave, I do enjoy that film, The King's Speech. That was another good one. But that was, like most of them, is sort of Oscar fodder, isn't it? Those sort of things come out purely to try and get. I mean, it's the same with Black Swan. I think that was pretty much the same. I never got it with Black Swan.
So Robbie Downey Jr. is number 1. So we can tick him off your list.
Yep.
Yep.
So are we saying the ones that I've mentioned so far are not in it at all?
No.
Wow. Samuel L. Jackson?
No.
Denzel Washington?
No.
I'm sure Stallone or Schwarzenegger made an absolute packet off that movie.
They would have made an absolute packet, but they weren't the highest grossing actors or the top 4 highest grossing actors. Bearing in mind,
Affleck?
No, Affleck's not in there. Bearing in mind, though, The Expendables was a return for a lot of those actors, though, wasn't it?
It was, but it was about it was a payday, basically.
Yeah,
to get them back into that movie. I mean, the thing is that half of them were like you never expected any of them to work with each other over that time.
No. Tom Hanks isn't in there, Dave. No.
Who we got then? Come on, let's do it.
Number 4 is Bradley Cooper. Number 3 was Jeff Bridges.
For Tron?
Yeah. And let me butcher this. Taylor Lyncher, is it?
Oh, well done, Peter.
That's the one, yes.
Lichner.
He's
Lichner.
Yeah. Do you know what his films were?
No?
The Twilight Shite.
The Twilight Shite. Oh, are we talking about?
He's the werewolf in Twilight.
He's the werewolf in Twilight. Yeah. His
top 3 films, 4 films that contributed him to being the second highest grossing actor in 2010 was The Twilight Shite.
Surprised Robin Patterson didn't have the same amount.
Yeah. But he did other stuff as well. Other movies I know nothing about.
It's that Twilight shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put that on the same shelf next to The Greatest Showman.
Hey, don't you dare.
Highest grossing movies of 2010, mate.
It's got, well, the first one, I think, is obviously something like The Town.
No.
Shutter Island.
No.
Tron Legacy?
No.
The Social Network.
No. I don't know if I've got this right, 2 seconds.
Unless you're going down the kids' route, which would be Despicable Me.
No.
Oh, yeah, Toy Story 3, Dave. Yeah, David, of course. Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. Yeah, I must have got the right year. Toy Story 3 is number 2.
Well done, David. If anybody else can think of what they would be. Number 2. Wow. Fucking hell. I honestly don't know, because you could say, did the Expendables with the guys that were in it, did that attract a lot of attention? Because it was obviously highest gross enough. It grossed enough to make another fucking 2 of them.
Yeah, that's what confused me. I've put number 3 instead of number 2. Yeah.
Absolutely bang on, right? That's fine, Lana. I could do that, because this is like torture for me every week. Especially when he does the wrong year.
No, well, we fixed that because you spat your dummy out for about 5 weeks on the run. We fixed that.
It was a technical error.
So, number 4, we're in it with Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 1, we're in with Avatar.
Oh, Harry Potter, Joanne just said.
No, Harry's not in there. So, number 1's Avatar. Number 2 is Toy Story 3. Number 4 is Iron Man 2. So, can you guess?
Avatar?
Avatar's number 1.
Avatar on that year?
Avatar, yeah. That's
Siri.
the highest grossing movie of 2010, it says.
What year was Avatar brought out?
It might not be the Avatar that you're thinking of, the James Cameron. It might be that bloody last
Avatar.
It's 2009.
Avatar was released on the 10th of December 2009.
10th of December.
It must have carried on into 2010.
Oh, it's one of them trick questions again.
So, Avatar's in there. Number 1. Toy Story number 2. Iron Man 2 is number 4. So, can you guess what the third gross highest movie was for that year?
No, I've sat here for the last 5 minutes. I can't even get one of 3.
Alice in Bloody Wonderland.
What? Alice in Wonderland, as
Alice
in Johnny
in
Depp.
Wonderland.
And that's another reason Johnny Depp's up there, isn't it?
Yeah. So there you go. We've got a request that Little Steve does the highest grossing next week so he can get some right.
Thanks,
so I
great.
can get right. Okay, so I can get them right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get through this section a lot quicker in that point of view. I'll give you 2 seconds, mate.
So, just why Little Steve's off doing whatever he's doing, can you guess in the chat who got the best director for 2010? Now, because Little Steve does spit his dummy out on this one, we do look for the director that won it in 2011 because that way it's a 2010 film. So, have a think. Comments in the chat. Who got best director? Or which movie for 2010 got best director for 2011? Bob. No, it's not James Cameron.
Sorry about that, bud.
Okay,
What
we're
was
on
it?
director, mate. We're on director.
What's the good word? The good word?
Evening, Bobby. You've missed
Oh,
us.
hello, Bobby.
You've missed us, mate, talking about The Last Dragon. You'll have to go back and watch the beginning again. No, it's not Christopher
18
Nolan.
quid. £18.
It's not Christopher Nolan. It's not Martin Scorsese. It's not Mel Gibson. We have mentioned
director.
Yeah, we have mentioned it a couple of times on tonight as well. And Steve said he actually quite enjoyed the film.
Well, I said I quite enjoyed quite a few films, to be fair. It wouldn't have been an action film.
You're right, Peter. It is Tom Hooper.
Tom Hooper?
For the King's Speech.
Oh, yeah, the Oscar bait. Yes, of course. Well, it's true, though, isn't it? Literally, it's true. And you can always tell because for some of them appear online a few months before they are due to go to the Oscars.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to speak about the Oscars in free for all, so we'll leave that where that is. Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you what we'll do then. Should we jump into pickups of the week?
Yeah, can do.
Right, so I'll go first, mate.
Okay. Like I had a choice.
Well, I'll tell you what. No, I'll tell you what.
Is one of them Blade Runner?
I'll let ladies go first. Go on.
Oh, right. Well, it's just a few bits this week because, like I say, the week's gone away from me. So I picked up Paul Newman's Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah.
Never seen it, so I bought that. This was just, I couldn't leave it in the shop, to be fair, but it's another Blu-ray. The Time of Their Lives, so I'm sure it's a really good movie.
That's going to be sitting on your shelf next to Insidious, never being watched, isn't it?
This one I couldn't leave in there. Just the 40th anniversary of it. I already have it in one version, but the 40th anniversary of Grease.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good musical. A couple of DVDs I picked up, which is The Exterminator.
Okay.
The director's cut. I'm sure that's a class film.
Mm-hmm.
Airwolf Season 1.
Ooh, I like that.
So I've not watched that in years. Churchill's Secrets, but it's an ITV programme, so I'm going to give that a go. It's a good cast in that. And then I've just picked up this week's release, which is Halloween Kills.
Oh, okay.
So that's got an alternate ending. Never before seen alternate ending. Woo-woo.
That's probably because no one actually watched the film to start.
Includes two versions of the movie, original and extended, with an alternate ending. But I thought they dialed the kills up on that one to 11. Honestly, they literally so many more kills in that. Steve, read your text. Is that your text, by the way? Because you have to narrow it down, Lana. We're both called Steve.
She's not going to text you, is she?
Well, you never know.
No one wants to admit that they
I don't
know
get
you.
many texts.
No one wants to admit they know you. I'm just stuck with you because of Chris.
No, right. This is it, mate. This is it.
So my ones aren't as exciting as yours. So I picked up Blade Runner, the director's cut on Blu-ray.
How many different cuts is there of Blu-ray of the Blade Runner?
Probably about 5.
There is, isn't there?
I picked up Inception.
Yep.
Now, I loved it because it's got a very holographic cover.
It's got a lenticular cover.
Yeah. So the charity shop by us do Blu-rays 3 for £1.
What?
So I thought, yeah, I'd pick that up. I picked this up when we went to Leeds.
Wow, you just took that to another level.
It's a 1994 Applause Cup. It's Diana Troy from Star Trek The Next Generation.
You've just took your Star Trek collecting to another level.
Let's put it this way. I can't find any for sale in Britain. and I found it in the charity shop for £1.50.
Wow, really?
So when I went to have a look at a DVD, and someone picked up the DVD before me, so I picked this up, and I hadn't taught, and I was just like, "Well, fuck you, dickhead! I got there first." So yeah, so I can't find any more now. The ones that are still boxed, obviously they're not new, but they're still boxed. They're going for $60 in the States.
Wow.
For me to find this one in the charity shop for $1.50, I was made up. I wasn't letting this go.
That's pretty awesome, mate, to be fair. You just took it to a different level.
So this is the one that I know that you're going to throw back my hatred of musicals at me. It was £3 for £1, so I picked up The Phantom of the Opera.
There you go.
Yeah. Now, I have seen this before, and I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy it when we went to see it in the theatre when I was about 10. So I thought I'd give it a go. I like Gerard Butler in films as well, so I thought I'd give it another go. So, yeah.
Good.
But to me, that's the steal of the week for me.
Yeah, 100%.
She's got a few little chips here and there, but bearing in mind she's quite old now. But yeah.
That's really good, that, mate.
So I need to now start collecting the bridge crew.
Of course.
It's cool. Yeah. So every week
we'll
see a new one. Every week we'll see a new one working its way down here.
Wow, that's cool, that is.
Yeah.
What's that? Quantum Leap is getting a reboot. Yeah, I've sort of heard rumours on that.
Now, is there a Quantum Leap reboot, or is it a continuation? Because they're saying go back and watch 5 certain episodes before this one's released, so you've got the basis of what this is going to be.
Maybe it's a follow-on then. I think there'd be a bit of an uproar, to be fair, if it was a reboot.
Yeah. Not a movie. But yeah. Right, I'll tell you what we'll do then. We'll jump into free for all because there's bits that we want to talk about for free for all.
Okay.
So just so people can't shout at me, there you go. You've been warned. Right. So the Oscars, right? Okay. Have you seen that they've announced the films that are in for like best director and best movie?
Oh, it's this time of year, isn't it, again?
Yeah, so they've announced them this week. So the bloke that plays Stingray in Cobra Kai,
yeah,
he had a bit of a dicky fit and took to Twitter this week about that there's too many foreign films. There's too many films directed by female directors, and there's not enough mainstream films in there to make the Oscars worth watching this year. So when people push back, because obviously that's what they've been saying for years, haven't they? There's not been enough female representation in directors and whatever. So it got to the point where he's actually deleted his Twitter account now because people were having a go at him. So he's deleted his Twitter account. So my question to you is that obviously there's a fine line where we're walking this like woke sort of business.
You know I love this shit.
So for me, if the film is good enough to be recommendation for the Oscars and nominated for an Oscar, then by all means nominate it. But don't throw in loads of stuff because you've had shit the last 2 years and then all of a sudden you're trying to make up for it.
But the question is, are they making these movies for the fans or are they making these movies for the studios? That's the biggest question. A lot of this stuff that gets mentioned in it is not necessarily that people are screaming out for. It's literally to appease the productions, and you can always tell because the directors will always come out and say there was a lot of influence from like the boards and all that sort of stuff the genuine movies that are good movies are the ones that haven't been touched by the studios, or at least touched to a degree where it's ruined it.
So for me, if your film's good enough, it's going to get recognised, isn't it? And don't get me wrong, I know there is loads of great films out there that should have been nominated, but they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose the question I'm going to ask then, is it worth having the Oscars? Or is it going to be like these music? Because we've already got like Best Actor instead of having Best Actor and Best Actress, haven't we? We've got Best Performance. We're already merging it all in. Is it worth continuing to have these awards for this, or is it? Or we just
it's show business, mate. It doesn't matter what the public want. It doesn't matter at all.
It's just enough's enough now.
You could say that about the freaking TV license, but never mind.
Well, that's in 5 years. We'll talk about that in show 500.
show 500. But that's what it is. I mean, it's literally, especially if they're gonna nominate these ones that they nominate. It's just a celebrity doing it. So it's a work do. It's not a party.
It's not a party. Well, you see. I watch quite a bit of YouTube and whatever, as you know. So I've been watching like Ricky Gervais because we've watched Afterlife this week. So I've been watching Ricky Gervais doing the Golden Globes and stuff like that, and some of his speeches in there. And he does mention the fact that the foreign press is not liking the female director, so they've just chose not to employ them, and therefore they haven't got the issue that they're leaving them behind. So this was back in 2017, 2018 that he said that. So, you know, this has been going on for a while.
If the thing is that it doesn't matter what gender they are. If they're a good director, they're a good director.
They're going to get picked up anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. But it seems to be like that. I think got it on here. The House of Gucci. You know, whether that's actually a good film or not, or whether it's literally just, Oscar bait or awards bait, I don't know. But you can guarantee that was going to be in there. What else we got? I'm just trying to see if I can find. Belfast, The Power of the Dog, King Richard, which is obviously Will Smith with the tennis twins.
Yes.
Coda, West Side Story, which, to be fair, we haven't bloody seen West Side Story yet. Licorice Pizza, Don't Look Up, which is, to be fair, that seems like a good movie. I've not seen it yet, but there's quite a bit of buzz around that. Yeah, Don't Look Up.
Is that the one about the asteroid? It's shit.
Yeah,
it's
is it?
Yes.
All right, well then you'll like the next one, because the next one, number 8 on there, is Dune.
Well,
and the Lost Daughter.
What category is it in for, though?
That one is Best Picture.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, it's a great I think I used the term masterpiece when I did my review of it, and it is. It's a great cinematic masterpiece. It's on too long for my liking, you know, but we're only halfway through the book, or a little bit over halfway of the book. If it was in for like special effects and costume and stuff like that, I could understand it, but it's too slow for it to be nominated for Best Picture.
So if I guarantee now, if somebody was to look online and other sources of getting a movie, there was definitely going to be The Power of the Dog with Benedict Cumberbatch, Tick Tick Boom with Andrew Garfield, Denzel Washington in The Tragedy of Macbeth, and Being the Ricardos. I can't even pronounce his name because they're movies that, again, well, they haven't even been released in this country by the time that they get to these awards.
No. Lana said here about, can we take a minute to appreciate the rules of the game on BBC? Yes, we can. Have you seen Rules of the Game?
No, not yet. Is it worth it paying 100 odd quid a year for a TV license? Because Dancing on Ice is crap. Or Strictly, sorry.
I like the series, and guys, I need a new co-host that actually watches stuff when it's released, please, so we can talk about
BBC? Really? Unless it's something like Line of Duty, I'm not really interested on normal TV.
Go and watch Rules of the Game.
Right.
Okay. Like that's your homework this week is to watch Rules of the Game. So we
Is
can
it a movie?
What?
Is it a movie?
No, it's 4 episodes.
So it's a TV series.
Yes, it's 4 episodes. It's not a big series, Steve. You've got plenty of time to watch it.
Okay, is it like an hour long or something each, one of them?
No, it's only about 40 minutes, mate. They're not that long episodes.
But I mean, yeah, to be fair, Lefty, you want to come round and watch Insidious and some good tea? Well, sod off. It's a bit far from the travel to watch a movie.
Moonfall
Yeah.
looks absolutely brilliant. I can't wait for that. I just hope it's as good as the trailer, and they just haven't shown me all the good bits of the trailer.
Yeah, I saw that trailer this week. It's a good actor as well, isn't it? The guy who's playing it.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for it. Yeah.
One of the homeworks I did set you last week was Cobra Kai. Are you up to date with Cobra Kai? You are. Have you watched it?
Yes.
What do you think?
I enjoyed it. I think it's like you say, it spent a bit more time on some of the characters that were probably a bit thingy the last time.
Mm.
Although the only thing that annoyed me is it teased a few times. In particular, when Miguel got injured, you know what I was expecting at that point. If he's in the back and he's got an injury, I was expecting a bit of Miyagi magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, come on, he's going to come back here and he's going to help him. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, them two get on and they don't get on in equal measure, don't they? Like Daniel and thingy Johnny.
Yeah, they both have different ways of getting to the same goal.
But the thing is that, and they were figuring it out towards the back end of the series, was that a lot of this rivalry between the kids was literally their rivalry. And that's the same for Cobra Kai, Eagle Doe, or whatever it is. Eagle Fang, sorry, yeah. And obviously Miyagi-Do. But it's sort of like they are reliving their grudges, really, aren't they?
But all the way through the 4 seasons, they keep saying that Miguel's dad's a bad boy and stuff like that, and Tori's dad left him and whatever else. Now, Silver makes a phone call at the end of this one, same way as Kreese did at the end of season 3. So we all knew it was Silver that was coming back in season 4. Who's the bad guy in Karate Kid 3? The bad guy karate that comes in to beat Daniel up in the tournament. What's his name?
Oh, what's that? The guy who beats him up?
Yeah,
the bad boy, you mean?
Yeah, the guy. Who?
You talk about the bad boy?
Yeah, the young lad that he's got to fight in the tournament. Is it? That's going to do my head in now because it's gone up my head. So, in my eyes, that's who Silver's called at the end of this series to come in. Is using the cast of it. That's going to do my head in now, so I can't remember what the bloody lad's name is now.
But I think Johnny's son.
Mike Barnes.
Yeah, that's it. I think Johnny's son's definitely. Thanks, Bobby. I think Johnny's son's definitely sort of turning a corner again, isn't he?
Yeah.
I was hoping they both would, to be fair, because it was that Tory girl. That's the one that was working, wasn't she? In that.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is
it's quite apologetic about accidentally hitting Sam in the eye and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Sam sort of seeing, but Sam's going the other way. She's
Yeah,
kind
and
of the right bitch.
so is her brother to
Yeah.
a degree. Her brother was a knobhead through that first series, but then he was sort of living through that series. He was sort of living up to the hype of the Miyagi Do.
Yeah.
You know, and it was almost like an expectation that his dad had taught him everything he needed to know. So I get it, but it was just a bit. And then that young lad, like his transformation from what he was to sort of like a the scared kid that gets bullied.
The new lad that's come into it.
Yeah, he was a nice lad, but he was just that went a bit quick, that went a bit far, a bit too quick for me. That would have been. I think they could have built that up a little bit more.
He's gone from being the bully to the bully, the bullied to the bully.
Yeah,
and then he sort of took Hawk's role in this.
He was another character I really enjoyed in this series.
Yeah, so where Hawk was like shy, reserved in the first series, and then grew his mohawk, and then he became the badass. Like, but he did that over 2 seasons, didn't he? In this one, it was like 2 episodes. He's gone from having his ass kicked to being a karate master.
Yeah, yeah. That's basically it with that. It was like I've shown him a few moves, and then next thing you know, he's kicking ass at the tournament. But then I thought the tournament came a bit quick in that series as well. To be honest, I wasn't expecting that tournament until like the last episode at least. And all of a sudden get to sort of episode 7 or 8, and it's like it starts off and the tournament's starting.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about the weapons bit. The weapons one was a bit shit.
Yeah, totally, Shabba. That's what we've just been talking about there. You know, all of a sudden they're all kick-ass, bloody, award-winning martial artists.
But the thing is that if it was clear and it was evident from sort of the latter of the season that those 2 dojos definitely needed each other, but to sort of only really sort of support like Sam in the final was a bit crap for me. It was literally like they it was quite evident that they had different styles, but they both needed it because obviously he'd gone in and taught Miyagi-Do to the Cobra Kais.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, like I say, I still enjoyed it. I was a bit apprehensive because I'm always worried they're going to wreck it. But the standard's been there for the last 4 seasons now.
So for me now, it's just a very nostalgic, loving series.
Yeah.
So apologies, guys. I'm going to point to the warning here now. If you've not seen Cobra Kai, in the last dying seconds of season 4, you see Terry Silver making a phone call, which is going to be to Mike Barnes. And Mike Barnes is going to come into it like Silver did this year. He's going to come in to help him run Cobra Kai. And then you see Daniel talking to Miyagi's tombstone. And he's saying, I really need help and I'm struggling. I've lost my way and all this stuff. And then the Japanese bloke, the Japanese bloke from Karate Kid 2 that he has to fight in that. And then the bloke that you seen last series where we went back to Japan, he's come to America now and he's going to help Daniel fight Cobra Kai. So you're like, are we just going to continue to bring back all these bit part characters from the movie series and then just go, here you go? Is Hilary Swank going to turn up in bloody season 6 as a, kick-ass, bloody female instructor that also knows Miyagi-Do karate? Are we going to get Jaden Smith and bloody Jackie Chan in there at some point?
Yeah, can you imagine? To actually acknowledge that one.
Bring them in.
I'd turn it off at that point. I think I'm enjoying it. How it's and I'm enjoying the fact that they've got to sort of at least 4 seasons now. It's definitely an extension.
Been renewed, hasn't it? It's extended to season 6, so we know season 5's going to be another karate tournament. We know it's gonna and we're not gonna get an ending to it then.
No. Nah, that's true, Bobby. I think I would have done if I'd have gone to that. I walked out with the Jaden Smith one. That's very true. But yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying it. I think you don't have to sort of switch your brain on to watch it. It's a good series to binge watch. I'm just looking forward to what they do. I mean, even if nobody else came back, I'd be happy with what they did. You know, I'm just wary that obviously the guy who plays Kreese and the guy who plays Silver, they're not that bloody young anymore.
No. Well,
Yeah,
neither is Daniel, though. Don't forget, he's
no, they're not. But I mean, I would imagine Kreese is a lot. How old is the guy that plays Kreese?
I don't know. He's probably not much older than bloody.
Really?
Yeah,
I know Daniel played him at an older age.
He was 20 odd or whatever when he played Karate Kid in the first place, wasn't he? It's probably not much difference.
There we go. John Kreese, actor. He's 75.
75. So how old's Ralph? What's his name? Ralph Malasha or whatever it is. He's probably pushing 60, or the upper end of the 50s.
60. He's 60.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think that he's got a few more years in him, but obviously the guy that plays John Kreese is like 75, mate. You know, I can't see him going for another fucking 5 years. You know, but having saying that, the way it's set up at the minute. Hey, here he is. Hey, bud.
I had to jump in for a second. I'm outside the post office.
I
gotta get up.
But Bobby, you're all right, mate.
So I had to go back and listen to what you were saying about the Last Dragon, and you were telling me to go back and listen. Well, I mean, you pretty much. I mean, look, but I told you it was going to be 80s cheese. I did.
It is the epitome of 80s cheese. It is definitely that. I enjoyed it, mate. I enjoyed the music.
It brings you back to that time, and like I said, I like that expression you use. A lot of the jokes, I guess you call, are close to the bone.
Yeah, they're a bit close to the bone nowadays. Yeah,
they couldn't say that, which I think when I go back and watch it now, I laugh even harder than now. You know, it's hilarious when he goes look for those fortune cookies. That has to be one of the funniest scenes, and the place is called Some Dumb Goy. I mean, how much funnier are you going to get than that? Some dumb boy, and he doesn't get it. He's just like, you know, and those guys, you know, those three Chinese guys, how hilarious are those three Chinese guys? Yeah. And, you know, he has that Mr. Miyagi type guy, you know.
But is it, though? I mean, is it, though? You can't, I can't figure that guy out. That sensei, he's a bit of a prick.
Well, they all are. I mean, in all of those movies, Mr. Miyagi was a prick. Remember, he was the one that had
legend. How dare you?
But you know, okay, it's the same difference. And then somebody's trying to. So somebody's trying to parallel park, and then they're gonna hit my car. Anyway, so what happens is, but it was very. But of course, Shonuff is the the cult classic character. Yeah, you know, just his mannerisms and what he said. Now, see, here's the thing: is that's a movie they should remake, because there is that cult following, and the great part is this: they could make him the karate man. Shonuff is dead, but the guy Taimak, the guy who played Bruce Leroy Green, he's in. If you've seen him today, he's in phenomenal shape. I saw him about 3 years ago, before BC, before COVID. I saw him at a Comic-Con, and I took a picture next to the guy. I was embarrassed because I'm this fat guy, out of shape, and he's what 20 years younger than me, 20 years older than me, or whatever.
So
not 20, whatever. 15.
So you bring him in as the karate master, and he's got his other Bruce Leroy coming up.
Something along those lines. But I'm just saying. But trust me, I'm sure you enjoyed that movie a lot more than Hugh Jackman.
I did. I did enjoy. I enjoyed the movie, and I can see why it's got a following. It is just, I mean, that's shown off. If that guy wasn't in it, it would be a completely different movie. It really was.
Yeah, and then that guy, Eddie Arcadian, who's just that. He's just that prototypical 1980s low-life scum. That guy, the music producer, the guy who's trying to get his girl the music video or whatever. He's just so stereotypical.
That's a t-shirt you want, isn't it?
Who's the master?
Who's the master?
Just the lines, just to kiss my Converse when he says that. Kiss my Converse.
So I watched it the first week or the week that you suggested it, and then Steve's copy didn't come through in the post, so Steve's a week behind. So I try to review it without giving too much away to Steve, so we can watch it. Sure. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite funny. But it is your typical teenage martial arts entry movie, isn't it? And it's just,
Yeah, and I like that they did. Somebody was saying in the chat the last time, they focus on the love. It's really not. He's a timid young guy. He's not a romance guy. I mean, of course, he's interested in women, but he's not like. His goal is to advance himself in karate or whatever it is to become a higher level. That's what he's concerned with. He's not concerned with women. He's not concerned with other stuff going on. Of course, he has to rescue the damsel, but he's naive. He doesn't know anything. The other guys from the neighborhood.
Naive's a bit being kind, isn't it?
No, I think he is interested in. Oh, he does show the interest, but I think it's more with his little brother forcing him into. Why aren't you thinking about women? What's up with you? You're weird.
What the?
Look,
there's a cosplay outfit. The cosplay outfit.
Now you've got to wear that for the next time we do a charity special, Steve. You've got to get.
You could wear it, to be honest.
And how great! And they used to have those kung fu theaters in New York City. You know that scene where he goes in. How great is that when Shonuff and his crew come in?
Yeah,
and then he starts
kick my ass. Leroy's gonna kick your ass.
And then he has the popcorn. He's eating the popcorn with the chopsticks.
Cake topper, a fucking cake topper. Wow,
Leroy. And it's funny because there's another guy in one of the reselling, American chats, and the guy comes in, and when he comes in, his name is Leroy. So we go, Leroy, because remember that scene where he's like that. And there's always that final battle, and he's Leroy. What's his name? Who said Eddie Arcadian? He comes out, Leroy. And then he goes, and then he sends out those henchmen. Those typical 80s, like one guy is like a
like a barbarian. Yeah,
exactly. One is like that. One is like a barbarian. So that's what I just wanted to say. I didn't want you. It wasn't. This is because the one I wanted to recommend because I know you guys were talking about. I'll make it short and sweet because I know you want to finish up. I know you guys have to finish on the hour in England. There's something with you guys finishing on the hour. I don't know why. It's so funny. People are home for like COVID. It's like, it's 4 o'clock. We gotta finish.
So in the
3 o'clock. Gotta finish the show. They don't charge you extra when you go over.
We're in no rush, Bobby. Don't worry. We're in no rush.
No, but some. I'm not mentioning names, but some YouTubers. It's like, it's 4 o'clock. I have to go.
4 o'clock. I have to go.
I have to go. Go with the silly nannies.
It's like streets in America where everyone's filming in the car. They're all just doing.
So I have another one for you. I don't know if you guys and this is one of the. I am interested in watching the Cobra Kai slightly because of course Karate Kid. Everybody our age likes it, but Well, to make the story short, did you guys ever see the movie? Because I see. Oh, I got a change. Did you guys ever see the movie called The Outsiders with Ralph Macchio or no?
The Outsiders. I haven't watched it yet. I've got it.
Oh, okay. Don't watch. Okay, don't look nothing up. Don't do nothing. That has to be since you guys are talking about Ralph Macchio, that movie has got to be the next one. The Outsiders. That's an epic. That's not cheese.
Well,
so you guys, so you have seen it.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, you never. Oh, great, perfect. And you guys already have it. That's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You guys,
it's not for me to just pick it up.
Okay, but I'll just give you a little rundown. I'm just gonna tell you because you could just see just from the box. I'm not gonna give anything away. But it came out in either late 70s, early 80s, right? I guess early 80s, right? 82, 83, something like that. Anyway. And it has all of the classic actors who became very famous in the 1980s and 90s. Tom Cruise, Ralph Macchio. Look. That was Cherry, good looking broad. He was the only guy who didn't become. He didn't become that famous. What?
Was that Rob Lowe?
Thomas. Rob Lowe, Ralph Macchio. You know that guy, Matt Dillon. He's the badass in the movie with the leather jacket. You know, Emilio Estevez. You know who Emilio Estevez is, right?
Patrick Swayze. All right, okay. So we'll give that one a go then.
But what's good about it? Because I'm just gonna tell you one more thing. Because then I got to go into the post office before they close. It's those movies like it's literally the other side of the tracks. You know how they talk about, this side of town. And you guys in England, I know you guys always talk about people who live up north is like this, people who live down south are like that. And, it's that. But it's even good because it takes place in the 1950s and 60s, that time period in the United States. So these guys, they have the leather jackets with the slick back hair. You know what I mean? With the cars and this, a little bit more badass. Okay. I'm going to go. I'll talk to you later.
All right, mate. Take care of yourself. Thank you.
Always a pleasure,
Cheers.
mate. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Right. So, Stevie, do you know what we never done?
The wheel?
The wheel.
Well, we got time.
We never spun the wheel.
Well, spin the wheel.
We need to spin the wheel.
Spin it. I'll keep that down now because I know what I've got to watch. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. You ready?
See noises. Go on, let's do the pawn music. Oh. That's not even, that's nowhere near as good. Oh, 1986.
1986.
1986.
1986.
Nice.
There we go. 1986. I wonder what was out in 1986.
Let's not look because that just ruins the whole thing for next week.
No, well, you don't know what was out in 1986.
Well, a few bits, but not specifically.
Right, Transformers the movie by any chance?
Oh my god. Hey, Z. Hope you're well.
We know exactly what we're talking about. Hey, Z.
We nearly got through a whole episode without Transformers being mentioned. Star Trek went in there straight away.
I don't mention it that often, If you were to go back and watch the 24 episodes of this, I don't mention Transformers that much.
I bet there's at least in every episode. Oh, and Aliens, yeah, Shabba, definitely. Stand By Me, great film.
So there you go then, guys. We're going to have a good chat next week. Howard the Duck, brilliant.
You can probably skip half an hour of it because it'll be about Transformers, but please turn up, please.
Did you see the video that I put out Tuesday? Did you?
Which one? You've been throwing them out like mad.
The Marvel one.
The top 5 Marvel. No, I haven't watched it yet.
No, I mentioned Howard the Duck at the end of that. That's my bonus film.
Oh, was that your bonus, was it?
That's my bonus film, Howard the Duck. Yeah. Where were we going? Right, what did we want to speak about? So we spoke about Cobra Kai. We've spoken about the Oscars. Rules of the Game. Watch Rules of the Game on BBC. It is quite good. It's more of a drama type of thing.
Amigos. Love that film.
Sorry? Oh,
sorry, I'm just reading Martin's put Three Amigos. I'm like, yeah, that's amazing, that film.
Yeah. So it's set in like a sportswear company and things happen and whatever else. So go and watch Rules of the Game. Did you watch Screws?
No, I didn't. No.
No.
Yeah, it was another one you mentioned, wasn't
it? And of course, we've watched Afterlife season 3 as well this week. That was
that you talking on that chat going about how bloody miserable it was?
Yeah, it's. I know he's depressed. He can't get over the death of his wife and everything else. But the first season was quite funny. You know, there was some funny elements to it.
I mean, Ricky Gervais very rarely does anything over 2 series of something.
Well, the ending of season 3 sort of makes me think that there's going to be no more.
Right.
So yeah, go and watch that. What's Shabba saying? Film of the week, you should have had Highlander. Well, judging by this, Shabba, there is only one Steve. You know, the other one's fucking useless.
Ooh. Wow. Sorry about him, guys. He doesn't listen.
You big cock end.
What's up, mate? What'd you say?
Do you know what the sad thing is that when you mute me, it comes up saying the host.
The host.
I need to take a picture of that, the host. So, you let slip last week, Stevie, that you were going to put the video out this week. Are we still in post-production?
Yeah, I'll get one out by the end of the week. That's the plan. I was going to do it the other day, but like I said to you, I've not been great the last couple of days, so I've not had a chance. But yeah, I'll have one out this week, I think.
So,
definitely.
Just so you guys are aware, I know Joan has asked for a couple of top 5s. So I'm working through them. Dave Resells asked for top 5 Marvel films, which he got this week. If you've got any suggestions or any topics you want us to have a look at, because I've done Visionaries, so I was going back over the old cartoons and relive it and remembering some of them as well. So if you've got any topics or any recommendations or suggestions you want us to have a look at and put content out about, and it does start some good conversations in the comments as well. Please feel free, and we'll have a look at them and we'll get them out as soon as we can. But yeah, the Marvel one was quite difficult, because I
was going to say it would be, because you've got fucking 30 movies to try and go through.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So I know Jones asked for Robert. Sorry. Jones asked for Robert Redford, Clint Eastwood, and Robert Duvall. I think she was the other one. She's asked
Robert Duvall.
And you're still doing Robin Williams, aren't you, mate? Or
yeah, of course I am. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you've got any more suggestions, then please put in the top 5 actors and actresses. Oh, okay.
What?
Lainey, top 5 actors and actresses.
Oh.
Would your top number 1 be Tom Cruise by any chance, Lainey?
No, Jason Momoa.
So, yeah. Aquaman 2. Did you see the trailers dropped?
No. When did that come out?
It came out this week. Aquaman 2.
I'll have to have a look.
Yeah, go and have a look at that. And speaking about comic book movies, did you see the Batman's runtime is 2 hours and 55 minutes?
Oh, really?
2 hours and 55 minutes. So this goes back to what we were talking about last week about runtime of films being extended.
Yeah.
So for a standalone Batman movie to be 2 hours and 55 minutes long, then they must be trying to wrap it all up in one big hit, mustn't they?
No, just provide enough content so that they can launch out another one. If it's too short and it's crap, then they're not going to do it again, are
they? Yeah, 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Wow. Well, that proves my point, doesn't it? There we are. There it is.
Insidious.
Okay. It just proves my point, though. They're expecting people to sit through these things longer, and unless it's something massively epic, it's not. I don't see what the point. What's that? Just Leave for number 2. Huh? Okay.
Rachel Weisz. What's my favorite Rachel Weisz movie? I quite like that in Enemy at the Gates. Jude Law and Ron Perlman when they were the Russian snipers in Stalingrad. That was quite good.
Rachel Weisz. I think I know who it is.
Wasn't she with Daniel Craig for a while?
Craig.
She's the older one from Black Widow.
Yeah, the mum.
Yeah.
In Black Widow,
that's the one she's recently been in.
Yeah. She's in Constantine as well, by the looks of it. I think the most memorable. I think it's obviously going to be Mummy in it. Mummy and Mummy Returns, but I did think she was all right in Black Widow. To be fair, I'm not a massive fan of her, if I'm honest. She's been in so many. She's been going for years, so she's been in so many movies. Wow. Beautiful Creatures. That was another one. Wow.
Okay, so do you want to pick up the top 5 actors and actresses, or?
Yeah, can do for me. Yeah.
Yes,
do that one.
She's married to James. So yeah, they did a film together, didn't they? Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig, and that's where they got together. But I think that was actually filmed up somewhere because he's from up here, isn't he? He's from West Kirby, Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
So that he's only he's from about 10 miles up the road from me.
That's his claim to fame, isn't it? It's around the corner from Big Steve.
There's a lot of famous people that came from the world. I don't come from the world, by the way.
No, how quickly they moved.
Yeah, I come from a little place called Runcorn.
Runcorn.
Yeah, and I used to drink in Frodsham.
They're
places that you see on the rules of the game, by the way. Runcorn and Frodsham.
Really?
Yeah, that's where it was filmed.
Wow. Right, I think we're about done for today, aren't we?
Okay, so just to recap, the movie for homework is The Outsiders, and the year is 1986. So Steve's already got a copy, so he's got no excuses for not watching it this week.
Hey, apart from there's only one I haven't watched, and we all know what that is.
Are you going to watch it, or are you going to?
I'm at the minute. I'm out of protest. I'm doing it out of protest now. I'm fed up. Yeah, I'll get to it at some point.
So is that it? That he's going to protest as much as I did about The Greatest Showman? Yeah. So the homework movie is The Outsiders. The movie, the year for review is 1986, and we're going to be talking a lot about Transformers the movie next week, if that's the case.
No, you'll have them turned off before they even come on. Right, okay.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. So please like the stream tonight, guys.
Yeah, please.
We've had quite a few high value likes, and we are getting quite a few subscribers now. We're at 140 subscribers now.
Massively appreciated, guys. Thank you so much.
We are moving in the right direction slowly. So thank you guys for your support. If you haven't already, please join the Movie Chats and Film Geeks Facebook page as well. So we do put out a lot of content on there, and we generally have good conversations as well. So we do share what we've been watching and trailers and reviews on that as well. And we are on Instagram at Movie Chats 2021 as well. So we do share some bits and bobs on that as well. So we've got plenty of ways to get in contact with us. If you've got any suggestions or whatever, please do leave a comment, and we do read them, and we will pick up and hopefully get something else as requested.
Steve's off to listen to the Greatest Showman soundtrack, aren't you, mate?
I've got me Bluetooth headphones here, mate, ready to go. You know.
Thank you very much for today, guys. For tonight, thank you so much.
Yep, and catch you on the next one. Right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's